Our story does feel one of those things that it's like you can't write this stuff or you can't make this stuff up.
I know.
Because so many curveballs have been thrown at us.
My name's Elliot and I am a writer. I write primarily movies.
My name's Emily and I'm a nurse and I currently work at an oncology infusion center. We were supposed to get married this weekend, but COVID had other plans.
Yeah. In 2014, I was diagnosed with leukemia in Los Angeles. I received treatment first at USC and then moved back to Chicago afterwards to continue treatment at Northwestern Memorial Hospital in Chicago. They showed me to my room. I walked in the room and she was there setting up the room for the next 30 days.
Well, the first thing I saw was the back of his head, which was
nice.
Partially bald. So, and we found out that we had a lot in common, that we were around the same age, we liked the same music, we were both half Chinese. So in that sense, we kind of, I feel like, hit it off as friends.
When they told me that I would probably be discharged the next day, I saw Emily and I asked her for her phone number. Hail Mary.
I thought that I would rather know that he was doing well than always wonder whatever happened to Elliot San.
Well, after I was discharged, we started texting, eventually we started hanging out, and then eventually we started dating, and then eventually we moved in together and in Chicago. And then eventually I convinced her to move back to Los Angeles with me. It was about 3 years. In August of 2018, I started feeling sick and I basically had a flu that I couldn't kick. And we were getting a little worried, so we went to the doctor and unfortunately the test came back and I had relapsed.
So before he was admitted to the hospital, I was completely surprised, but he had decided that he was going to propose to me. We were actually going to a cake making class with a couple of friends. Everyone was getting their cakes and I was like, where's my cake? And then they come out with one that, like, I see writing on it and they're coming towards me and it says, "Marry me, Emily."
Yeah!
And yeah, that's how we got engaged. Right after we got engaged, Elliot had to go into the hospital a week later and he got his second stem cell transplant. So he was in the hospital for about a month.
We purposely picked a date pretty far out just so that we knew that I would have enough time to be well by the wedding.
Having gone through what he went through again a second time, it did make the wedding really important to us. So in January, when I first heard of coronavirus, I was not thinking that it would affect my wedding at that point. I was thinking more like it would affect my job and my patients.
As the coronavirus was getting worse, for us it was getting serious the week before our wedding, and our concern was both with myself being an immunocompromised person, but also with our family members traveling. Most of our family was traveling from out of state to come to California for the wedding. If I got coronavirus, my body just would not be able to fight it off the way that a normal person's immune system would.
And he would be at a higher risk of actually contracting it.
I brought up the fact that maybe we might have to cancel the wedding. It was not the most peaceful conversation we've had.
I think I was a little bit in denial. I mean, I knew what was happening and I had a bad feeling about it, but I felt like we had planned our wedding for so long and we had been waiting for that day for so long that I just couldn't accept that it was true yet. When we first had that conversation, I was kind of in shock.
I was so busy trying to figure out how I was going to reschedule an entire wedding that the sadness of the moment didn't really hit me until I think everything fell apart. And then we had to just say, I guess we're gonna be in our apartment on Saturday. We're hoping to reschedule in the late fall. In a way we were brought together. We met because of my illness and we've been through a second lap with that illness, and for illness to be the reason why we are not quite getting married has just sort of toughened our resolve. We've overcome so much already and canceling a wedding is just another hurdle, I guess.
Yeah, we've waited how long already? What's another few months, I guess, at this point.